Now, our next speaker for this morning, among some of the awards that she has won, Outstanding Filipina Entrepreneur, ASEAN Women Entrepreneur Network Awardee. Actually, napaka-daming awards. She's a qualified superwoman. But personally, the thing I like about her the most is that she shared this morning that one of the proudest moments for her is that she's also a wife and a mom to a very beautiful family. And she showed us her the wedding video of her daughter this morning and the video of her son. So guys, please give a round of applause.
Good morning. I don't know, are you hungry already? You can actually get something while I'm talking. Are you okay?
Let them get na. Huwag na kayong maya.
Get na something kasi alam ko, hindi pa sa'yo na came here.
Kasi pag hindi nagamit ito, magagalit si Miss Chiki sa akin.
Actually, sige, get. And then there's
Tama yan.
bottomless chips.
Bottomless chips, I like that.
And then there are juices inside the ref. So please get.
So habang kayo ay kumukuha ng mga pagkain, gusto ko lang banggitin na yung drinks at saka yung chips are actually sponsored by our partners in Day 8 Business Academy. Now, they believe in our cause, so they give us all those chips. Healthy naman kasi mild. Healthy ba? Paano kumain nyo ng chippy? Paano naging less salt ang chippy? Paano kasalanan? Dapat maalat lang ang chippy. There are drinks in the ref. So siguro you can pass it along as well. And there's Copico, sponsored lahat. That's part of the business model, by the way. Okay? So I will show you something while you're getting. Okay? So habang ito, ano lang naman to, pasakali. Just to mention, ano ba yung Day 8 Business Academy? It's actually the advocacy arm of Mansnet and Fielders, where I am CEO, that caters to the training of small and medium enterprises. Because Mansnet caters to the top 1,500 corporations. So, maraming tumatawag sa amin. Gusto namin magagawin ng Mansnet, pero hindi namin kaya yung 15,000, 20,000 na ginagastos para sa 2 araw. Entrepreneurs ko eh. So, we decided to set up an advocacy training company called Day 8. Bakit Day 8? Because God created the world in how many days? 6 lang. 6 lang. 7th day, nagpahinga. Therefore, 8th day, Day 8 is a start of a new beginning. Bakit? Kasi we wanted to help a lot of entrepreneurs turn around their businesses. Yun lang yun. Doon kami nag-umpisa. And then, nanganak na ng nanganak. Ang dami na namin ino-offer. Okay? And this, so welcome to Day 8. This is one, I added an extra slide actually in my presentation because I wanted to show you the business model map. How many of you here teach business? Business management. Yan, tama ba? Principles of management. Who teaches marketing? Pareho rin ba yun? Kung tinuturo yung business, marketing. Who teaches entrepreneurship? Oh, sorry. Isa lang po nagtaturo ng entrepreneurship. Oh, this is for you. Actually, I'll be honest, when I found out last night from Graph that there are 3 speakers pala, ay, nagpubuti na lang. Pero, I actually prepared for a 3-hour talk. So, I have, kanina umaga, delete. Diba? But sad, sige. Kasi nga, I teach entrepreneurship. And I am an entrepreneur. I get to talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, micro pa nga, at the level of ahon sa hirap, umaabot ako sa Laguna, sa Taytay, sa Tanay, sa Antipolo, para makipag-usap sa mga nanay. No? And then, on June 13, I have a talk in Quezon City, Sikap Buhay. I talk again to a lot of micro-entrepreneurs. And what I will show you today is our common things na palaging nagiging tanong kung tama ba yung negosyo pinapasukan mo. So yun yung sinasabi nga ni Tony, meron ka ng idea, social enterprise, sustainable ba? Hindi lang sa environment, kung hindi pati sa financial stability. Okay, nakakuha na kayo ng maiinom, no? Okay? Okay na? Ana, tanong. Wala ka inumin. Pakipasa pa ang inumin dito. Maala. Okay, so medyo ganun akong klase. Yung pagkananay ko, hindi ko matanggal. Kailangan ko pa yung speaker, kailangan ko makain kayo. Kailangan may ininom kasi mamaya, inuubo kayo, di ba? At makatiyan ka na lang yun. So please get something. Ayan, you're passing na. Okay? So we don't have our next speaker yet, no? So let's see how fast I can go depending on the speaker and on the time. So again, anybody who teaches marketing, business, or entrepreneurship, I hope a key takeaway today. Those of you who are guiding students in engineering, you have to also, or science, whoever teaches these courses, hopefully you can give them a business perspective as they develop their big ideas. So, ang dami ko ng pinlano actually, pero hindi ko ma-discuss lahat yan. So, I know you will understand if I skip some slides. But I wanted to talk about these things. But before that, I added this slide so I can show you something about the talk earlier. Because there is something what you call, ano ba yung innovation? Paano mo ituturo yun? Paano mo alam ko innovation? There is actually a business model map. And this is an example. So first you have to identify your target market. CISO, business to business. Tama, Selecta, Unilever, Chowking. So business to business, target market. Value proposition, good quality ube. Diba? That are organic, I don't know, pest-free or whatever. Mamaya na, hindi pa tapos. Kumpletuhin yung business line. Sayang. Okay? And then, you have a target market and your value proposition is your product and price. Okay, your offering. So how do you now, what channel do you use? So business to business, they have direct selling people, they have business development, diba? For some are e-commerce na, etc. So ito, you have retail store. And then how do you now make sure that the customer stays loyal to you, which is the bonding? The other side is the value network. Yan na, medyo makikita nyo na ngayon yan yung in-offer ni Sir. Chicken, food styling suppliers. Dito ho, very powerful yung innovations na nangyayari, the improvement of the processes. That's Sir did for Sunlight. Napansin nyo, all the innovations were focused on efficiency, right, and productivity. So it is part of the innovation of a business model innovation. So these are other parts, like who else can they tap, for example, that can, do they have a third part, now if they have other people to supply, subcontract, parang ganyan. That's part of their complementors of the value network. And then finally, configuration. How else can they fix this thing? Reconfigure. And then only comes the cost and the revenue model. Okay. This takes 2 days to discuss. But I am showing you this framework because this is how we teach. I hope that as teachers, you have frameworks that you can teach your students. Para sa kita, okay, ito yun, I can do this. You know, a lot of businesses have difficulty actually filling up these boxes. Sino ba target market ko? Ano ba value proposition ko? Diba? Magkano? Paano ko kumikita? Paano ko siya ibebenta? Channel? At paano ko gagawin customer loyal yung customers ko? This side is the marketing side. Diba? Target market. Yan, I'm sure you know that, right? The other side is the operating model. Kaya nga manufacturing. See, that's where you can. So each one of these boxes are areas for innovation. Yun lang naman ang gusto ko sabihin sa inyo. Each one of these boxes are areas for innovation. Want to change your target market? Fine. So for example, if Sir wanted to expand and he has excess capacity, what's stopping him from offering it ASEAN via online? Right? Kasi wala naman siyang business mode, wala siyang business development officers nun eh. Pero ngayon mag-iiba siya ng channel, see? Kasi nag-iba siya ng target market. You get what I'm saying when you teach these things? So this is a map that actually you can teach your students and ask, how else can we innovate? This is the business model innovation map. Okay? Ito dinagdag ko lang yun. Kasi maganda i-relate. Kasi nakita niyo kung saan si Sir nag-innovate nito. So, ang daming pwede. So, yung outsourcing, third party, pwede yan, complementar siya. Iniiba mo yung value network mo. Processes are actually assets. If you have perfected the process, that is powerful innovation. Kasi kayo lang yun. So, okay. Wala yan sa usapan. Pero sila. Kaya ano, tapos na. Kasi yun ang importante malaman nyo. So, maganda actually, sir. I'm gonna try to put your business into this framework.
Actually yung sa innovations namin, kung makikita nyo, it addresses yung economic, social, and environmental challenges that we encountered on a day-to-day in our operations to come up with a sustainable, competitive, sustainable business.
So, andito sila lahat. Ito, inaayos nila to. So, even the cost,
totality.
And that requires a vision of a leader. Now, in the absence
knowing
of...
the market. Yung muna importante, knowing the market. Okay. Ano yung needs ng market. Yun muna ang tignan. Kasi kung ipupos mo yung gusto mo, at hindi gusto ng market, baliwala.
And I'm so glad Sir mentioned that because that's exactly why I presented the boxes to you in that order. If you do not know your target market, how do you develop a good value proposition?
Know first the market. Pag-aralan nyo, kasi kaming ano lang naman nang may papakita ko sa kanila na kasi napakalit namin. Pero pinag-aralan ko ano yung requirements nila. Yun ang nakipag-level up kami, nag-comply po kami. That's it.
And then, Sir looked at the processes and resources and the cost. See, it's all here eh. Yung kanyang, ang ganda, no? Ang ganda. Sir, itatry ko isang araw, ipa-plug ko yung inyong business model. And then you can add it in your presentation.
In fact, wala po kaming salesman. Ako po yung salesman.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
Very lean organization.
Very lean.
Very lean.
How do they know you, sir? How do they get in touch with you?
Blind call.
No, tatawag kami sa kanila. Walang
Phone calls.
Lakas loob lang.
And the good thing, yung organization kasi namin very flat. Very flat yung organizations namin. Kasi kung masyadong maraming mga kanyan, that impedes yung approval ng mga innovations.
That's very entrepreneurial as well.
Dapat very flat yan. So, kinakailangan din yung practice yung principle na stay open. Parating pwede kang pasukan, pwede makipag-communicate sa yung tao mo.
Maganda palang format to, sir. Yung parang may live case and then ako yung naglalagay ng theory. Diba, tama? Yun ang nangyayari. I'm building on his ideas eh, oh. Diba? So anyway,
they should take a picture of your slide, diba? But we can post it on the...
I'll do the business model map of Sunday.
Actually, ma'am, yung business model po namin, ito ngayon yung pinapag-aralan ng UP Small Scale Industry. So yung ginagamit nila na year to year, pumupunta sila sa...
Maganda ko kung ma-identify nila yung each box. Kasi yun na yun eh. Ito replicable eh.
Yeah, tama. Mas madaling intindihin.
Andiyan na lahat eh. Isang tingin mo lang eh. Diba? Tapos makikita mo kagad kung may discrepancy. So kunyari, yung mga massage parlor, mga massage, yung spa, they want low cost. Low cost. Pero ang value proposition nila may chandelier sa lobby. Makikita mo, disconnect ka agad just by looking at your business model map. Okay, so this is the value of the business model. Okay, but then again, as Sir said, dapat flat, dapat hands-on. This is very entrepreneurial. I'd like to show this to you because this is in the book of what my husband and I wrote, which is The We-Entrepreneur. How do you become a whole entrepreneur? And we discovered that there are actually 5 tasks and 5 treasures. It took us 2 years to write this book because when he wrote the 5 tasks, sabi niya kulang, Chicky. Sabi ko, yeah, parang kulang. He started it in Holy Week of that year and then I finished it in the next Holy Week. Kasi we had time. But here's the thing about the 5 treasures. No? So, binalance namin. Kaya pala hindi maubos-ubos kasi nga 5 tasks and 5 treasures. Hindi nga pwede puro task ang entrepreneurship. So first, you have to have an exciting vision and mission, which is what we heard about from Sunlight. Very exciting vision and mission. And then, I mentioned again, a very compelling value proposition. You can be excited with your idea, but what you're offering your target market is not so, mas mura naman eh. Ano mas maganda naman eh? Hindi. Pinakamagaling at pinakamaayos yung kanilang value proposition. And then you have to have enduring cash flow. Any entrepreneur knows that if there's something you have to watch, it's the cash flow. So again, you know the sari-sari store mentality. May benta kami, puro lista. Hindi pwede yon. Wala kang cash flow. Paano ka bibili ng inventory? Paano ka mag-expand? Paano ka magpapasweldo? And then you have to have attractive profit. Again, a lot of entrepreneurs just do it because I love to do this. It's not sustainable. It has to be attractive profit. And finally, manageable execution issues. So for example, yeah, the kind of soil that you want. You want to have a ube farm, but the soil is not compatible. That's an execution issue. You want to have a spa in a residential area. You're not going to get that permit. So those are things that any entrepreneur should remember. Yung limang yan lang. And then, an entrepreneur, as we both know, hindi mo mahihiwala yung personal eh. Dala mo sa bahay ang mga issues ng problem, ang mga negosyo. So sa amin, because I'm Catholic, very strong belief in God. Because an entrepreneur will have to wake up every morning and say, saan ko kukunin ang pasweldo ko ngayon? Nalugi, binagyo ang aking tinanim. So you have to have a very strong belief in God. And a beloved family. Whether you're married or not, your family could be your organization, your volunteer work, anything. It gives you meaning. Why? Bakit ka ba nagpapakandang alipin sa negosyo mo? Good health. Diba? You cannot again separate. A lot of entrepreneurs forget their health. I do. That's my last. That's the thing that I still have to. Kasi nga, I wear too many hats that I can't say no. Then I can't rest, I can't exercise. Reasons lang yun, tamad ako mag-exercise. Meaningful self. We also forget our self-development because we're too much into things. Ano nagsasuffer niyan? Well, the business, pwede masungit ka kasi pagod ka na, o yung pamilya mo ma-affect. Kasi hindi ka nagsa-self-develop. And finally, you have to have a relevant network. Ito na yung kung how do you make things happen kung wala ka. Now, here's the thing. 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. 9 over 10, okay ba? 90%. Acceptable? Sounds right, di ba? Para mga teachers, 90% mataas yun ah. But unfortunately, if 9 over 10, but it's bad health. You're sick, you're dying of something. Cannot be. 9 over 10, you don't have cash flow. Cannot be. It has to be 10 out of 10. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to have all of this. So that's why entrepreneurship, I will already say, is not for everyone. It's not for everyone. So sabi ko ngayon iba, kung hindi ka nag-entrepreneur, franchise is good. Yeah, you have a template, you have Jesus follow the template. But real, innovative entrepreneurship, you have to have 10 out of 10. Okay? So you can actually teach, you can actually see it among your students. What do you want to be when you graduate? Yung isa ang sagot, BS Entrepreneurship ko ha. I want to be a manager of a company. Alam ko na, okay, bakit kaihan na sa entrepreneurship? Okay. So moving on, these are questions that I want to ask. No? Because again, an entrepreneur has to have all this. So the question is, who are you? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you have what it takes? Do you have the right business partners who will do it with you, because you can't do it alone. Sir, it's good to have hands-on, but as you know, sometimes you can't take vacations. Nobody will sign the check. Nobody will approve the... So one of our courses in Day 8 is actually how to manage your business in absentia. Because one is you have to expand, which means you have to trust managers now to run it for you. And second, how do you put in the controls that even if you take a vacation, you can relax and enjoy. And that's the challenge of entrepreneurs. We don't want to let go. Kasi inupisahan namin yan eh. And then do you have, again, babalik na naman tayo sa value proposition, do you have a validated opportunity? What do you see? It takes a visionary like Sir to really see, oh, this is where we're going. We want this. And now expansion is in the pipeline. And the value proposition is how do you spot business opportunities? You know, I am in a situation when I talk to the nanays of Ahon sa Hirap, of DTI in Rizal and Quezon City Sikap Buhay. When they ask me, Ma'am, how do we sell this? Ano may produkto mo? Perfume. This is in Smoky Mountain. And I said, magkano ang kita dyan? 10 piso bawat bote. Pabango. So, naghahanap sila ng solusyon. Paano nila ibebenta ang pabango? Tanong ko lang naman palagi, anong unmet need ang sinasatisfy ng pabango? 10 piso, is it compelling enough? That I will go out of my house, spend something, may pamasahe to go somewhere to sell pabango, and hopefully may bibili ng ilang piraso para mabawi mo ang pamasahe. Sabi ko, parang kulang. Baka siguro kailangan nyo padagdagan yung product portfolio nyo para mas maraming kikitain at maraming choices. And I really see their faces na baksak. But that's the truth eh. Diba? What kind of business are you selling? For example, in the case of Sunlight, they have created a lot of barriers to entry, again, very marketing and management terms. The quality of their produce, the systems that they have. That's why they can go low cost because of their savings, which even if somebody tries to sell at a lower cost but they cannot compete with the quality, hindi makakapasok yun. Barrier to entry yun. Ganun quality na nakikita. That's very compelling if I were to do business with Sunlight. So that's how we always think. When a student comes to me and I have an idea, it's very exciting. Okay, what unmet need is that trying to satisfy? Pag hindi mo masagot yun, may problema na tayo. Lalo na pag entrepreneurship. Okay, so these are other implementation questions. Actually, I was supposed to discuss one by one, but just to give you a broad stroke. Why will your customers buy? How do you form relationships with them? And can your team execute? So, may mga execution issues are very important. How will you make money? And of course, how will you identify and stop leakages? So, entrepreneurs, ano pa lang to ha? Start and before the business and during the business. Wala pa tayong after the business. But these are ideas that when you teach your students, I hope you help them really get the idea of why are you offering that business? So I am actually helping out the school that's telling me, we have an innovative research center. And so what programs have you what products have the students produced? Healthy carrot muffins, juices, etc. Good ideas. I'm not saying it's bad. Kasi sabi ko nga, okay, kung yun ang produkto nyo, quality, di ba? Iba ba yung business model? Pwede naman eh. Hindi ko sinasabing mali yung produkto. Pero tama ba yung business model? Maka dapat hindi kayo mag-direct, hindi kayo mag-retail kasi mahal ang upa. Maka dapat delivery. So see, there are options. But you, as teachers, you have to guide your students to see, hindi ko ba tayo dyan? No? Because these are all execution issues. How do you make it really innovative? So self-mastery, any entrepreneur, as I mentioned, has to be a 10 out of 10. A good heart is not enough, unfortunately. Kasi, yun daw problema ng mga sobrang, ano tawag bro? Hindi naman, meron bang tawag na sobrang CSR, nabigay na, hindi na nasusustain. Kasi siya na gumagastos eh.
Charity yun, charity.
Charity. Sobrang charity. Yung dapat merong, at as an entrepreneur, you are part of the product. You are part of the value proposition. People will bet on you. Kasi siya may-ari niyan eh. Bibili ako. Kasama yun. Kaya it's not for everyone. So this is a list from Harvard Business School that makes successful entrepreneurs, that makes entrepreneurs successful. So I can identify opportunities, they have vision and influence, very comfortable with uncertainty. Sabi nila ang Pinoy, of risk averse. Tama ba? Gusto sigurista? Pag naglagay ako ng pera dyan, dapat sigurado. I learned it from the Chinese. My husband is Filipino-Chinese and I'm Filipino. I learned it from the Chinese that yes, you have to take risks to make life exciting. You know, he was a C student. I will already have to. He played basketball, I think, in high school and college, and just turned around one day and said, I'm not being relevant anymore. I'm going to be head of my organization. And then became a speaker, became one of the marketing top entrepreneurs in the Philippines. Because of that, and I saw it right before my eyes. Ako minsan ninenervyos eh. Sabi niya, hindi, magbukas tayo sa Indonesia. Ayun, may opisina kami ngayon sa Indonesia, sa Jakarta. Mga ganon. Sabi ko, hindi ko naman napapagod. And he would tell me, sabi ko, gusto ko na mag-retire, gusto ko na magturo. Sabi niya, bakit ba kayo mga Pilipino aga niyo mag-retire? Tama. Tama. Diba? So, sabi ko, gusto ko magbakasyon eh. Diba? Yan na, Pilipino. But I learned. You know, the risk and the number of hours really put into working, talagang sacrifice. But, work hard, play hard. I've learned it. Again, just a footnote before I continue. I graduated at the time of Ninoy Aquino was assassinated. It was freeze hiring. I was a LaSalle graduate, I was editor-in-chief, I was student council, I was dean's list, etc. Ang ganda kaya ng resume ko. Tapos hindi ako makakuha ng trabaho because freeze hiring. Can you imagine, if you were your parents' hope to turn around your family, si Chiki, pinakamagaling namin anak, ibebenta namin yung lupa at saka yung kalabaw para nung makapag-aral ka sa LaSalle. Maraming gumagawa niyan. And then all of a sudden, I couldn't get a job. And I was so set, I'm gonna be a Procter & Gamble or Unilever brand. Yun ang yabang ko eh. Yun ang aking level of thinking eh. And then wala akong makuha wala akong Freudian slip. Hindi, kaya ang nangyari, nag-asawa na lang ako doon. Hindi kasama sa kwento doon. But then I became an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur now tells me that I am not dependent on the economy. Because I can make things happen. And I loved it. Doon ako nagbebenta ng kaserolan. We had a cookware. In Germany naman, stainless steel. Doon ako sa farmer's market, nagde-demo kung paano mag-no oil, no water, no salt cooking. Doon ako sa garahe ng mga nagpe-prayer meeting at nagluluto ng pansit. Ginagawa ko yun as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs would do that. Diba? So, maraming Pilipino gusto forma. Ano una binibili? Okay, pera. Sasakyan, actually yes, car ako na. Iuutang! Diba? Basta lang, pwede naman mag-second hand, pero hindi, brand new. Pangalawa, bahay. Baon sa utang, matanda ka na. So, I learned that again from my husband. Bakit? We rented an apartment. We bought a small townhouse, drove second-hand cars, gifts of entrepreneurs, frugality. Saka na yung forma. And then 8 years ago, we bought our dream house in Acropolis, debt-free. Walang utang. Diba? So, nakakatulog ako mabigat eh. That's the entrepreneur work hard, play hard. So sabi ko nga, if you're not willing, if you're students or you're not willing to do that, take a gap. Because that's what it takes. And I always tell my students, kasi sila ngayon, di ba, merong mini moon at honeymoon. Alam niyo ba yun? Honeymoon, pupunta sila sa Europa, sa States. Mini moon, Hong Kong. Diba? Mini moon. Yan ang tawag nila. Di ba saan ang honeymoon namin? Baguio. Paano kami pumunta doon? Pantrangko sa Quezon Avenue. Oh, diba? So, yes, entrepreneurs went through that. That's why I'm so proud to become an trabaho namin lahat. So kayo, pag nagkakagulo at ekonomiya, okay, trabaho lang ulit. Diba sir? Ano lang?
Actually, sa amin, nag-umpisa kami, rented house lang. At 13,500 pesos a month. Tapos mga equipment namin, mga surplus.
Big time professional ito, engineer ito.
Engineer. Kami talaga, sumira pa ako sa biyanan ko ng 5 years. Kaya niyo? Hirap yun. Anyway, so these things, no? A lot of things here. You have to build networks, collaborate, and again, financial acumen. Kaya nga ako nag-English and literature at anthropology. Ayoko mag-financial. Kaya accounting ko, Mr. Tony. So I had to learn. Entrepreneurs have to have financial acumen.
Unavoidable.
You have to know how to read financial documents. At least, di ba? At least yung mga percentages lang para makita mo tama yung ginagawa. And you have to have the right business partners. I'm gonna breeze through this. So, you have to know, minsan marami nang kakagulo na partnerships. So, dapat yung complete yun. So, kung yung isa magaling sa technical, yung isa magaling sa operations, yung isa magaling sa marketing. I have questions like this that have been asked of me by students of owners of children of owners na Anvil Business Club. Mga the Chinese young entrepreneurs. What are the usual problems of entrepreneurs? It's by sticking to the business that you know and nothing else. So if you know, what made you start your wine? That's the only thing I know how to do it. Diba? Anong unmet need na naman? So it's real. It's real. Kasi yun lang ang alam kong gawin. So, yun, alam ko lang gumawa ng pabango. Yun ang tinuro sa amin. Yung mga coconut farmers, nagre-reklamo kasi binigyan sila ng panggawa ng BCO. Ngayon, yung kanilang warehouse, punong-puno ng virgin coconut oil at hindi sila marunong magbenta. Sino sisisihin nila? Yung gobyerno. Kasi binigyan nila kami ng makina, hindi naman kami tinuruan kung paano mag-marketing. Kasalanan pa. So you have to know again what is the unmet need your business is trying to validate. So this is very supply side thinking. Ako, ito ang kaya kong gawin, ito yung bebenta ko. Versus demand side thinking. So, really you have to look at relevance and uniqueness of your product. So in the case of Sunlight, so it's ube. You know, it's a commodity. And yet, because of the structures and the business model that the resources and the processes that they put in place, it differentiated. May uniqueness and relevance na yun. Okay, because in-address na yung needs ng kanyang customers. Businesses have to be sure about safety, about quality. Binaranti na yun. So here now is how do you spot business opportunities. I'm gonna swing again kasi I think our next speaker is here. So again, people kasi keep thinking how do we think of the next big idea. So usually this is what established firms do. They have a product and they have a market. So they produce whatever the market needs. There are new ways of looking at it. How do people live? How do people work? And how do people play? So this is very anthro. Now you look at how do people live? How do people play? I'm taking my anthropology. Anyway. Yung araw kasi ganyan yung sistema, di ba? People fall in love, they get married, they engage. So Catholic now they engage in sex and then they have a family. Now we don't know the order anymore. So we have to, as entrepreneurs, we have to be ready for that. So people used to say na we have to have money, then we do what you love, and then be who you're supposed to be. Ngayon, actually, you be, I'm gonna be the best volunteer, I'm gonna be the best entrepreneur, and then I do it. I really spend my time, energy, and resources doing it, so I can have the life I want. So you have to really find what it means to have, what is having for you. So, ang nangyayari kasi palagi, when I earn, I'm gonna be. Versus, I'm a decent, hardworking person. I'm gonna do this to help as many people. And believe you me, you're gonna earn. Yung nga ano ngayon, yung 50 of marketing purpose. Because it's been found that when your business addresses a specific purpose, you will earn money. Okay. I will show this. So how do you find opportunities? So these are examples. I'm gonna breeze through it. How we live. So a head tutorial, you're familiar with this, no? So you have to go back. Saan kaya nila nakuha yung... So ito ulit yung mga steps, okay, that I'm showing you in one slide. So ano ba yung observation? Ito ang home, a Filipino home. You see diplomas are hung at the living room. Tama? Then the parents, ay, anak ko, nakakapagtapos na. Diba? Minsan pa picture yung anak na nag-graduate andun eh. Okay? So, ano yung insight doon? Education is key. Very important to Filipino parents. But there's a stress. Papasakay pa. So therefore, ayun ang barriers. Nagpapatutor? Bobo siguro yan, may tutor eh. Again, very Filipino culture. So, at saka, ang mga pumapasa lang naman, UP Ateneo Lasal hindi namin kaya magbayad doon. So, access to professors from the top 3 is a barrier. So what did AHED do? Who else? No? These are students who want to get ahead. What else? Tutoring by professors of top schools. Now here's the thing. Look at this and that. Observation yan. So, but the students want to get ahead. I don't have access to top professors from the top school, therefore my tutors are. So see, it addresses an unmet need. Kasi you can always say, may tutorial ako sa bahay ko, sa garahe ko. Pero kayong pupunta. Pero pag sinabi mo, wala kang access sa UP Ateneo lang sa professors, punta ka sa tutorial ko. See, that's always how business goes. Merong basis yung ginagawa mong value proposition. Kayo ba maglalagay kayo ng tattoo sa anak nyo? So again, observation, parental rituals, and high cost of child care. If you can put dog tags for dogs, what about safety tattoos for children? And again, what is the fear of a parent? Nawala yung anak mo. Tamahan natin. And of course, pero tattoo negative. Walang kwenta kang nanay, pinapatattoo yung anak mo. And permanently reversible. So, again, target market, you have to identify parents who are safety conscious. Value offering, it's safe and temporary, positive association, and you have designs. Okay. I will show this brief video.
Well, we're calling them mompreneurs. Very clever as we continue our series about local moms who are starting their own businesses.
And tonight's mom worried about being separated from her children when they were in a crowd, and it's that fear that inspired her new business. When the Welch family of Baltimore County headed to Hershey Park in September, they thought it would be fun. Instead, it was somewhat daunting for Mom Michelle.
Because it was disheartening to see how many people there were. We thought we'd get separated from our 3 kids.
She created safety tats, waterproof, temporary tattoos that Michelle customizes with a parent's home or cell phone number. If your kids get lost, your contact information is right there. Michelle is a graphic artist but knew nothing about starting her own company. Yet within a month, she had filed a patent and a trademark. She used this book, Patent It Yourself, at the U.S. Government Patent and Trademark website.
You go in and you think of all the different ways to describe your idea, and it'll give you a listing of anything that pertains to your idea, and I found nothing.
So it was full steam ahead. She came up with some cute designs with help from her design team.
As a matter of fact, I have 3 budding artists who sat down with me, and we all brainstormed on what the tattoo should look like. I want a puppy dog. I want a flower. I want a butterfly. How about a rocket? And I did my own, focus group, basically at the bus stop.
8 designs were chosen.
Ooh, the dinosaur, that's my favorite too.
Then Michelle sent out a mass email launching her business and started getting orders on her website. She creates the tattoos in her home office and ships them all over the United States.
And regardless if I ever made a penny on it, just to be able to help people in that regard and having fun doing it, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, for the present.
Anyway, I don't have time to show all the examples, but you get the drift. There is a target market with a real unmet need. Then you satisfy that. But you don't ask the mothers lang. You also ask the kids, what design you want? I want the dinosaur, I want the butterfly, I want the dog. Diba? Because otherwise, hindi ka gamitin nung baka, ang baduy, ang pangit na. Diba? So you have to, I'm very marketing when I think of my ideas. I think of the customer and what unmet need they have. And how do I create those barriers to exit, to entry? Because, alam niyo yung Zago and shawarma craze, right? Ang dali-dali pasukan, hindi lahat nagpasukan, walang barrier to entry eh. So ganun ako mag-isip palagi, how do I create something that's different? That has a target market, who will buy, makes it, because innovation at the end of the day could be an amazing idea or invention, but if it doesn't translate to commercial viability, it's useless. So that's the hard and strong, and that's the thing. So you always look at the observations out there, and what does it mean? So those are the examples. So yeah, how we work, this is Discover Mandarin. So this is an online to. So yung mga Americans who want to learn Mandarin, one-on-one live session. QB House is a barbershop in Japan. Observe, usually matagal ang haircut because of the shampoo. Pero pag nagupit, mabilis lang, di ba? So what they did was remove the shampoo, and even the price, by the way, has to be adjusted, and the time, the barrier. So men in a hurry, men who are price conscious and who don't value complementary services like masahe, shave, basta yung in and out lang. So see, even that has to be very defined. Who's your target market? Fast, cheap thing. I'll show you at ladies' lounge. Dadamputin niyo yun pag nakakita kayo ng supply. Hindi sa inyo yan, hindi alam. Pero sa law na sa barber, okay lang na gamitin niyo yung supply na hindi nyo alam kung saan galing. It's a real thing, right? So, in-address nila yun. Japan din sa Tango, you have your own home. Okay, so how we play, so even the video jeepney, you've heard of this? Kasi traffic eh, of course, mag-video kayo dyan. Nike trial van, people, running is in, but people don't have time to go to the malls to have the right fit, so they have up in a pop-up store. So, free sampling. Okay, bilis na, maka-teacher naman kayo, nagtindahan nyo ako. Okay, so actually how we live, how we work, how we play, even how we die. Meron yan, may opportunities lahat yan, kaya how do you spot it? Okay. St. Peter Memorial, alam niyo na ito, Iburol. Alam niyo na ito. So, may target market yung family of disease. Ngayon nga sila, when my father passed away, ano si Tony? You remember Tony? My sisters were holding their iPad for my other sisters. So, iPad, naka-Skype. And look at this, 2-week tours for mourners. When somebody passes away, you grieve, right? And it takes time to grieve. So counseling helps, you know that. So inside, if you lose someone, can you gain more by finding the new you without family or friends? Kasi minsan mas stressful yung kasama ko dito. So ano to? People who have target market people who have lost a loved one 3 to 4 months ago, and then they put you together in a group holiday with a pro-grief counselor. So parang kinakalimutan mo yung parang let's have fun. And yet, mayroong counseling involved. So, mayroong takers, ha? Yeah? So, would you have thought of this? No, maybe not. But there is a market. Anyway. So, I'm not going to be able to discuss this anymore. You just have to know if you have a good product concept. Here, last time. Then what skills do you need? Okay, as teachers, what skills do you have to be able to learn how to connect the dots? We call this sense making. And a lot of anthropological tools can be used, like ethnographic research, in-depth interviews, etc. Or you ask. Filipinos don't ask a lot of questions. Why? What would make you buy? What would make you be part of it? Look, try, link, and you have to keep connecting the dots. Like death in a family, makukonect mo ba yun sa holiday tour? Right? It's weird, but it is real business. So, for example, our water's biomineral pot, what are we looking at? So, it's difficult to yung 5-gallon bottles, di ba? Kung babae ka or something, wala kang taga-buhat. No? So, plus lifetime cost. The water is usually reverse osmosis, so it's possible that it's acidic, and you're not sure about the hygiene because of the water refill stations. So how else can you do it? But it's expensive eh. The people say it versus the 25 pesos, 35 pesos. We have installment sales. See, business model eh? Business model hato. And finally, can we make the buyer also the seller? So these are all business. When we converted the waters business from direct selling and we made it multi-level marketing, we did a lot of business model innovation. Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope you learned something. It's applicable to any business. It's applicable to social enterprises. So it's easy to come up with a social enterprise, but to make it sustainable, you need something like this. So thank you very much. Yeah.